commodity alludes to a necessity. Okay, like water is a commodity. All right. You're just another a sellable item on Esau's stock markets, man. Okay, he's going to use you to make money, man. All right. Even if you're a fucking LeBron James or somebody like that, somebody that's supposed to be in some kind of power and all of that, he can't move like how he wants to move, man. You don't see them guys now. Really, they allow them to do that. They allow them to invest money into Negro, Hispanic, Native Americans, but that's just for appearance. They're not really about that because they're not allowed to be about that. That's why you never see 3, 4, 5 of them, 10 of them put heavy investment into Negro, Hispanic, Native American communities, man. Why? Because they're owned by them so-called Jews, man. Okay, and how they move, how they act. Even Floyd Mayweather, right? He's owned by them so-called Jews, man. He can't come out there and tell them, look, the whole industry is messed up. Okay, yeah, you're real funny. Okay, you can't tell him that whole industry is messed up and all of that. He can't come out like that because they're gonna take what? They're gonna take his assets, man. Okay, really, to do that, you have to be like damn near his own country, man. Okay, and last time I checked, he wasn't that rich. Okay, and let's get back onto what I was saying there. It says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense them that trouble you. Okay, so it's a righteous thing for us to do that. Now let's go to Revelation 13th chapter on the 9th verse. And I'll start from the top. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So just like how the Most High said, and the Most High done set it up too. That's the beautiful thing about it. That we went off on the Lord's statutes commandments to the Most High, so we got punished. But the instrument of the Most High's punishment is going to be put into captivity too. Okay, so here is you got Esau walking proud really because the Most High set him up, right, to be proud and hence to be destroyed. And the example of that goes back onto who? Pharaoh, man. Because the Most High said to Moses, look, go to Pharaoh, say this, that, and the third, right? But when you shall go to him, he ain't gonna respond to that because why? Because I've hardened his heart. Okay, I've hardened his mind, right? So that he's gonna have to destroy Egypt, man. All right, and that's the same thing with Esau. The Most High made him so proud because really it goes back onto what the Lord wants, and that pride is going to make for one of the greatest destructions, really the greatest destruction, right, of any kingdom, right, that has ever existed upon the earth, man. All right, where the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, is going to be fulfilled. All right, and that land of Babylon is going to be completely wasted because when you go into Babylon, all right, it was still some of when they got destroyed by the Medo-Persians, it's still a player, man. It was still in existence, man. But this time when the Most High destroyed the modern day Babylon, okay, you ain't gonna think about that, man, anymore. You ain't gonna remember it, man. Okay, now you're gonna remember it because it's gonna be set forth as a monument. You're gonna see the smoke of a burning for years, man. All right, the Most High is going to leave it as a memorial to show you what happens when you go off, when you go off against the Lord and the Most High. Okay, all right, because the scripture says how it's going to, how it's going to be turned into a desert land and no man's ever going to dwell there forever and ever, man. Okay, so the Most High is going to have to where it's going to be like a monument, man, something to look upon to remember them, man. This is what happens when the Most High, right, is pissed off at you. But the point I was making is, that's going to happen in the wake of what? Of the vengeful, in the wake of vengeance, and right, the vengeance the Most High is going to inflict upon Esau, man. All right. So Revelation 13th chapter on the 9th verse, it says, "If any man have an ear, he that let him hear." Right. So you got that because everybody's got ears. All right. Everybody's got eyes to see and ears to hear. All right, unless you're blind or deaf. Right. But when you go into the depths of it, is this, okay? You go to the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter and the 9th verse, right? The Lord had said it to Isaiah, put a curse upon these people, okay? That they may not hear, that they may not understand the scriptures, all right? And Isaiah said, look, how long are you going to have it to where this going to play out, man? All right? And he said, look, let that curse play out, all right, until the cities be laid waste. So the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans were going to stay hard-headed, the 2/3, and the ones to be destroyed, furthermore, was going to stay hard-headed right up until the cities were laid waste. Now think about that, man. Right? So in the moment of their calamity, that's when they was going to understand. That's what's they're going to perceive that people held in a minute. them dudes that were on the street corners, those were the real prophets of the Most High. That's when they're going to get it, man. Why? Because that's in prophecy. That was the curse that was put upon them. Let their tables become a snare unto them, a trap. So they be trying to get into these scriptures, and they get trapped by Cornelius. All right, they get trapped by the mark of the beast, and some of the things that they be coming out with as a retaliation of the mark of the beast or the Cornelius issue. You can see that it's straight garbage, but they're so trapped within that they got to justify that trap. Okay, why? Because that goes back onto the curses the Most High put upon them. All right. Right? Because the Most High doesn't want everybody. He's dealing with a remnant, man. Alright? So it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So Esau's out there killing all of these different nations, of which that's part of our inheritance, man. Here he is, he's destroying the whole. Look, man, that's our property, man. That's Jake's property, man. Okay, we own them different, even in their different lands, man, and the riches and the resources that they have, and you can read about that within the book of 2nd Ezra. Forget the exact chapter, right? Where it says, I think it's 8 and 54, if I'm not mistaken, right? It says, after these Adam also, if thou hast made Lord of over all creatures, of him come we all, meaning all the nations come from Adam. But also the people whom the Lord has chosen, right? All right, and it says, if the world be made for our sake, so all the world is made for Jake's sake, for our pleasure, right? And if you get into it, really, Israel is the only one to get into the nature and all of that, man, right? And into rulership and kingship and living large and all of that. That's an Israelite thing to do, man. That's a Jake thing to do, right? If the world be made for our sakes, why don't we possess an inheritance? Going back onto the first part, the first topic that I was getting into, which was what? Which was the curses, man. That's why we don't possess an inheritance right now. But see, now the Most High is turning the tables right up on his head. Okay, he's turning things the right way up, because we know the scripture talks about how Esau has turned things upside down, man. All right, Esau has turned everything upside down, man. Okay, so he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So that's what we ponder on. You know, the saints of the Most High. That's what they ponder on every day, right? That's what they think upon all the time. Now it's inconceivable right now when you see Esau's military and so on and so forth. But that's nothing new, man. Okay, that's nothing new. The Most High pretty much had the same situation with, I think it was Elijah. Or Elisha, I forget which one. I think it's one of the two. He had the same situation where you know, the brother go, you know, I wouldn't say weak, because you know, I'm not, you know, that's not talking about with Jews, but he definitely felt some type of way about the army that they had in comparison to the army which was great in multitude that the heathen had that were coming up against them. And the Lord basically opened out his eyes, right, to the celestial bodies that were surrounding the encampment, and really it was greater than all the forces of the heathen, man. And that's the same thing right now, man. Right here it is, Esau's, you know, got all kind of, you know, guns and instrument of death. All right, they can kill Jake, you know, right where he's standing. But the Most High is having it to where all of those spirits go onto him, where they tell him, look, don't do that, man. And if he was to do that, you know, and when his thing goes down, the time of Jacob's trouble, he is going to be able to do, you know, kill certain ones of Israel, man, of the elect, because it's prophecy, okay? But ultimately, he really ain't going to be able to wipe, because what he wants to do is wipe off Jake from the face of the earth, man, okay? And he's not going to be able to do that, okay? Because that's not, he hasn't been set up to do that. So let me go to Psalms, the 149th chapter, in the 7th verse. Right, so this is the book of Psalms 149, and I'll go straight to the point. In the 5th verse, it says, let the saints be joyful. Now, who are the saints is what you should be asking yourself. When we go to the book of Psalms, the 50th chapter, right, and the 5th verse, right, when you go to Psalms 50 and 5, the scripture says, them that have made a sacrifice with the Most High by way of blood, those are the saints of the Most High, okay? So now we've established who are the saints. All right, you go back into the same verse and you read it again. And you say, okay, let the Israelites. And he goes,
Can I get on it?
no.
Come on, man, we don't need to come. What, you doing a reading?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm just reading the scriptures. You know,
What's it for?
where you gentlemen from?
Leeds.
No, your parents from the West
Jamaica.
Indies, Jamaica.
Jamaica.
So,
Not sick.
so you're from the tribe of Benjamin.
Benjamin.
What if you're from
Kingston.
Jamaica?
West Indies.
Well,
If I'm
Kingston
West
and
Indies.
Spanish town.
I'm West
We're from-
Indies,
we're
so
from the West
I'm
Indies.
tribe of Benjamin.
So you're gonna be from the tribe of Benjamin.
Yeah, that's my nana and that.
Sorry?
My nana and that's West Indies.
Yeah. So
Yeah, my
you're
granddad.
you're Israelites.
He's
okay.
Turkish.
You know about
Where's
the
he from?
Israelites?
He's Turkish.
No, I'm not. Israelis. Don't listen to this, Mukhtar. Come on. Israelis.
now, you man.
All right. So basically, you got the Israelites that's spoken about within the Bible, right?
Right.
Those
The
Israelites.
Bible's made up by white men,
That's not true because the Bible was written by black men.
but the Bible now is made by white men.
No.
The Bible everyone reads today is by
Bible-
white men.
What about John the Baptist, though? He was a bounty hunter. Yeah, innit?
Getting back into the point I was making, the people of the Bible are people of color.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Now-
original one.
Exactly.
The
okay.
new ones are white people.
Let me
They
get to it.
changing
Let me finish. If you start jumping too fast,
long,
you're
though.
gonna you're gonna trip yourself up.
yeah.
You know. But
You like, I ain't gonna leave him while he's talking.
that's cool. You seem more humble than the rest of your lot because you look when I was saying certain stuff, you was taking it in. Now the people of the Bible were men of color.
Yeah.
And there's all kind of examples to show you that. Okay. Now when you go into the curses that are in the Bible that apply to black people and Negroes and Hispanic people.
Like what curses?
Okay, so there's a curse that says basically you're gonna have it to where your kids are gonna be in the street corners and they're gonna be terrorizing old men.
It says that in the Bible.
It says that in the Bible, bro. It says the tender and delicate woman among you, right? She ain't gonna be tender and delicate no more, right? Our women are rough, bro. All right. Now the biggest example is Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and the 68th verse. Thou shalt go into captivity, which is slavery, by way of slave ships.
It says that in the Bible.
Here's the proof, man. Okay, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, right? Bear with me.
Are you doing this for like a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this up on the YouTube channel, okay? But really, this is the important bit. You gotta be out there. I can't sit at home and you don't interact
Gotta
with
be out
people.
there,
You gotta be
yeah,
out
right.
there, okay? Because a lot of people don't know about this truth. Now it says here, look, and the Lord, okay, shall bring thee into Egypt, which Egypt, when you go into it, it's not land. The word Egypt just means slavery.
Yeah.
Okay, really, the land was known as Mizraim, right? Egypt is the word doesn't mean that, but the word is synonymous with slavery because Israel was in slavery underneath the Egyptians. Again, with ships. You shall go back into Egypt again with ships. By the way of I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, right? For bondmen and bondwomen. Now, when you read that, you're gonna think, stop, hold on a minute. What people were sold and they were on ships as well?
Yeah.
So who is this talking about? Black people.
And when was this? What's the
Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and the 68th verse.
So is this before Jesus or?
Right, this is before. Okay. Now when the man Jesus came, you had it to where the Romans were in power. Now the Romans are the so-called white people.
Right.
They were putting all kind of hell. Now you got black people being shot up by so-called white policemen. That's what they was doing. Now, don't get it twisted because it looks like you're sort of fair skinned. Your parents, your all right. So that's been happening for a long time. But let's say you see a nice white girl with a fat ass, all right, and you hit that, and your son comes out looking much lighter than you. That's it's your son. He's still an Israelite.
Yeah.
There's no halves.
It's not us. It's still got the blood. It's still got the blood in him.
Exactly. Predominantly the father. Rather more the father's blood. That's why you carry your father's surname because you're your father's son. Because your spirit goes back onto your fathers, onto your fathers, onto your fathers.
And I look exactly like my dad as well.
Exactly. And even if your son was born, and let's say you met that white girl, you hit it.
No, my girl, she's half mixed race.
But see, he's still gonna come a little bit lighter than your dad, isn't it?
Same color as me.
Oh, that's cool. But he's still an Israelite. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's still an Israelite.
Yeah.
He's still a descendant of those people by way of his father. Right? Because when you take you go to China, right? You take a pomegranate seed and you plant it out there in Africa. It's not now an apple. It's still a pomegranate.
Still a pomegranate seed, yeah.
All right? That means to say when a man gets a woman, she could be Chinese, she could be English, all right, when an Israelite man, all right, pops one of them women, it's still an Israelite.
David. You're right.
Does that make sense?
Be nice talking to you.
All right, man. You have a nice day. You're an Israelite, man. You're a Benjamite, yeah?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. West
Benjamin,
Indies.
West Indian.
West Indies. All right, man.
Have a nice day.
You have a good one, yeah? Right, so back in the book of Revelations, was that Isaiah. I was in Psalms, the 149th chapter, and right, this is Psalms, the 149th chapter, right, and the 5th verse. It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory." Okay, so like I was saying before, you gotta think to yourself, okay, one, who are the saints? Now we determine that the saints are who? Are the Israelites by way of Psalms the 50 was it Psalms 55, Psalms 50 and 5? Okay, we determine that the saints are the Israelites. Okay, all right. Now it says the saints be joyful, so they're gonna need a reason to be joyful because hey, the saints are in a state of captivity right now. Hell, the scripture talks about in the book of the second Ezra, the 15th chapter, how that the Most High, all right, how that the Lord. Furthermore, the saints pray unto the Most High daily, right? Praying for this kingdom could be destroyed, man. If I'll get that exact example, man. All right, this is 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Okay. Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, and the point is in the 8th verse. It says, "I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit," which goes to show you this Esau that's profanely committing all of these atrocities. Okay, because who is more profane than Esau? Right? As touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise. Okay, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me. Okay, right, and the souls of the just complain continually. So I thought it said the souls of the saints, but more the souls of the just, which are the saints, right, complain continually for the affliction that they catch. But here now it's saying let them be joyful. So they're gonna be joyful about something. Now let's see what's talking about, because people got this misconstrued idea of what the scriptures saying when it's talking about joy, man. When it's talking about salvation and all that. So let's see what joy the Most High is describing here, that these saints, his saints, are rejoicing in. Okay? So let them be joyful in glory, let them sing aloud upon their beds. Now you know what kind of joy you're gonna be, man. Right? When you get a message or something, you gotta jump up out of your bed and you're jumping on the bed for sheer excitement, man. Okay? What excitement is this talking about, man? All right, that's the question that should be in your mind. Well, how is it that the Most High got it to where their saints are so excited, they're up on their beds and they're jumping for joy, man? What excitement is this? All right, it says that the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and the two-edged sword in their hand. Hold on a minute. It sounds like the story just darkened a bit. Well, it hasn't darkened, okay? Because what you got to understand about the saints is this: they have the understanding of who their enemy is. Okay, which is a rudimentary survival, right? Knowledge of survival, right? When you know who your enemy is, you know how to survive. Okay, for instance, you got to where Jake is in that slavery of their mind, and we know who our enemies, and we stay away from Esau's traps and clubs and drinking. Okay, all that kind of stuff. Now you can drink, don't get it twisted. Okay, but ravelings is the way of this world, man. All right, and that's likened unto a trap, because you get it to where all kind of jakes get killed, you know, when they're out there raveling, man. Okay, you get all kind of things, because Esau puts that vibration out there. You get to where these musicians make that music that gets you in that rowdy spirit, and you get it to where all jakes are killing themselves off, man. All right, back to the point I was making here. It says the knowledge of their enemy. So when the enemy is their enemy, the enemy of the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans is destroyed, guess what? The saints are going to be joyful, all right? And here's what he's going to say, because they're going to be joyful for what? To execute vengeance upon the heathen, right? And punishments upon the people, all right? So they're going to be happy. They're going to be rejoicing and jumping for joy upon their beds, because they seen America being destroyed, okay, from the news or whatever. So that you might have a brother, and that's actually going to happen, right? Because you got to where you got what? You got local time, right? Right. So when something happens out there in America, it might be in the middle of the night or another part of the world, right? Okay. So you got it to where the saints out here, out here in England, all right, they're gonna be, you know, it might be sleep time, all right, and it might be daytime out there within Babylon. The Most High allows it for them Russians to to do what they gotta do, all right. So guess what? When they see that on their Urim and Thummim, their tablets or their phone, they might be in their bed or whatever, okay, all right. They're gonna jump for joy when that happens, man. Fulfilling what that precept said, fulfilling what that scripture says when it says the saints be joyful, because now they're gonna do what? They're gonna execute vengeance upon the heathen, all right. So it's to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains. Hold on a minute. What? The saints are going to be joyful because they're going to bind people and change. Yeah, that's right, man. Because going back onto the point I made, the scripture I pulled out in the book of Thessalonians, it says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High, okay, to recompense them that trouble you. So it is a thing to be joyful about, man. How the Most High gonna flip the script, man, right? And he gonna make your enemies your footstool, man. Okay, that's what the Lord's gonna do for his people, man. He's gonna holdify his people, man. Okay. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm gonna run with it. Okay. It says, this is the 8th verse. It says, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles in fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all the saints. Praise ye the Lord, man. So even, hey, going back onto the Isaiah, the 14th chapter, all Jake's gonna make it through, okay? All the Jakes is gonna have it to where these heathens gonna be in subjection, man. All of them, man. All of us is gonna be all right, because guess what? 12, you know, the elect, when they make it through, which the elect just also consists of what? The 1/3, right, within America, right, as opposed to the 2/3, okay? The 144,000, okay, which I believe is anywhere in the world, and the elect, okay, which is a vast quantity of people, man, okay? But you're gonna have an even larger multitude, if I'm not mistaken,